Here is the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most strategically critical waterways on the planet. Iran's approach here is straightforward, but incredibly dangerous. Control this narrow passage, and you control the flow of global energy. This is a severe bottleneck where massive oil tankers are funneled into just two extremely tight lanes, one designated for incoming traffic and the other for outgoing vessels. There is no flexibility, no alternate route. And Iran doesn't just observe this corridor, they dominate it. They hold control over 3 key islands positioned directly alongside these shipping paths. Beneath the surface of these islands lies a hidden network, deep underground bunkers armed with anti-ship missile systems ready to strike at any moment. So why is it so challenging for the United States to secure and clear this strait? Because the IRGC doesn't rely on large naval ships. Instead, they deploy fast, small boats, launching coordinated 360-degree swarm attacks. Their objective is clear: disable the bridges of larger vessels and bring operations to a halt. And it gets even more complex. To fully neutralize this threat, the US would need to locate and eliminate every single bunker hidden across those islands, using massive 5,000-pound bunker buster weapons, a task that is both time-consuming and extremely dangerous. Now, step back and look at the bigger picture. This is how Iran has the capability to disrupt nearly 20% of the world's oil transportation. And here's what makes it even more intense. Major global players like the UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and even Iran itself all depend entirely on this single narrow corridor. Before we go deeper, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss our next in-depth military breakdown. First, let's look at the choke point. At its narrowest, the strait is only about 39 kilometers or 21 nautical miles wide. This northern coastline belongs to Iran and is highly mountainous. This provides natural camouflage and deep fortified bunkers for missile launchers. Plus, Iran controls a string of islands like Keshem, Lorak, and Abu Musa. Think of these not as islands, but as heavily armed, stationary small anti-missile defense systems parked right on the edge of the shipping routes. And those routes, they are incredibly tight. Because the waters are shallow and filled with reefs, supertankers are confined to a strict traffic separation scheme. You have one 2-mile-wide inbound lane, one 2-mile-wide outbound lane, and a 2-mile buffer zone in between. If attacked, these massive cargo ships have virtually zero room to maneuver. But what are the tactics and strategy Iran used to control this narrow corridor? To block the Strait of Hormuz, you have to control the islands, and the IRGC relies on a triad of fortified outposts, each with a very specific and very deadly role. Here's strategy number 1, the Lorak Island. Think of this as the choke point enforcer. Lorak sits right at the throat of the strait, looming directly over international shipping lanes. The strategy here is all about close quarters intimidation. Because it's right on top of the transit corridor, IRGC fast attack boats staged here can reach a passing cargo ship in mere minutes. For the crew, they have zero time to react. LARC enforces strict no-move zones. Drones launch to monitor stationary tankers, while speedboats physically surround them. If a captain decides to start their engines, they open fire. Then comes number 2, the Keshem Island, the heavy arsenal. If Lorak is a knife at the throat, Keshem is the sledgehammer. It's the largest island in the Persian Gulf and serves as the IRGC's primary military hub. Its rugged, mountainous terrain hides a labyrinth of underground bunkers and mobile anti-ship missile launchers. Keshem is designed to launch heavy anti-ship missiles, like the P-15 Hermit. Packed with drone bases and radar installations, it is the strategic anchor of Iran's coastal defense. Then comes number 3, the attack point. Abu Musa, or the forward outpost. Located further south, right on the doorstep of rival Arab states, Abu Musa is a heavily fortified early warning center. It extends Iran's anti-access or area denial bubble deep into the Gulf. Radars here track incoming Allied warships and cargo vessels long before they reach the choke point. It's a launch pad that drastically widens the threat zone. So how did they attack the cargo ship? First, LARC will launch the Fast Attack Swarm. The IRGC deploys fleets of small radar-evading speedboats, clocking in at 50 to 70 knots. 10 to 20 of these boats will swarm a single cargo ship from 360 degrees. They zip in close, targeting weak points with heavy machine guns and shoulder-fired missiles. They aim for the bridge to blind the ship and the engine room to leave it dead in the water. Hidden within this chaos are unmanned suicide vessels, remote-controlled drone boats packed with explosives, steered directly into the hull to blow a massive hole at the waterline.
And while the crew was completely overwhelmed, other boats rapidly dropped tethered naval mines directly into the ship's path, stop the ship, or risk snapping your keel in half. Then comes the second tactics: anti-ship missiles. If a swarm doesn't get you, the missiles will. Fired from highly mobile trucks that immediately retreat into fortified caves, coastal defense cruise missiles like the Noor or Gator employ a deadly trick. But the West isn't exactly defenseless. When Allied warships enter the strait to escort cargo ships, they form a high-tech defensive bubble. Here is how they counter the IRGC's triad tactics. Navies deploy literal combat ships and specialized mine countermeasure vessels. Using high-frequency towed sonars, underwater drones, and Seahawk helicopters, they scan the water ahead of the convoy, detonating mines before the cargo ships ever arrive. But how do you counter the anti-ship missiles? Allied destroyers rely on advanced networks like the US Aegis combat system. The exact moment an Iranian missile is launched, the Aegis destroyer's radar tracks it and fires interceptor missiles like the SM-2 or SM-6, blowing the threat out of the sky mid-air. Meanwhile, Apache Seahawk helicopters pick off swarm boats from the air using Hellfire missiles. But at the end of the day, the ultimate countermeasure isn't defense, it's offense. The US and its allies keep an armada of surveillance drones monitoring the Iranian coastline in real time. If they detect mobile missile launchers rolling out of mountain bunkers or boats loading mines at port, Allied fighter jets and ship-launched Tomahawk missiles are tasked with destroying them before they can fire a single shot.
Hidden deep inside underground bunkers, these Iranian P-15 anti-ship cruise missiles posed a massive threat to international shipping in the Hormuz. To neutralize the risk, U.S. forces dropped multiple 5,000-pound deep penetrator bombs on hardened coastal missile sites. The weapon they used is a GBU-72, a 5,000-pound precision-guided bomb fitted with a jam kit. These massive munitions are capable of penetrating up to 160 feet of earth, or 20 feet of reinforced concrete. Once they breach the surface, they detonate with immense force, completely destroying the underground structure. That was the first layer of defense. The second layer involves a close-in weapon system, such as the Phalanx. At the top sits the Q-band search radar. Just below it is the Q-band tracking and fire control radar. And further down is the 20mm Gatling gun, capable of firing up to 4,500 rounds per minute. All of these rounds are supplied through an internal ammunition drum with a linkless feed system. Let's take a closer look at how this works. When the FANGS is activated, the search radar acquires an inbound drone threat at a distance of 10 miles. The search radar continues tracking and the software confirms the threat. The fire control radar then locks onto a target at 5 miles, approximately 2 miles away or at the optimal range assigned by the software. The gun opens fire on threat 1 and continues firing until a hard or soft kill is achieved by expelling tons of almost endless rounds, destroying any drones, boats, and planes that come near the ship. If that doesn't work against small targets, then this is another close-in weapon system, the CRAM.
If the preceding method proves ineffective against small targets, another close-in weapon system, the CRAM, comes into play. The CRAM integrates the radar and electro-optical system, the followings. But this bad boy alone packs an 11-cell RAM launcher that can be reloaded, thus creating an autonomous system that can engage threats without relying on external information. Within the CRAM is the RIM-116 rolling airframe missile, equipped with an infrared homing device.
This small, lightweight infrared homing surface-to-air missile is specifically designed for engaging subsonic missiles, such as the Soviet-era P-15, re-engineered by Iran, which maneuvers in close proximity to the oceans to evade radar. The CRAM defense system activates in such scenarios, destroying anything within a 6-mile radius with a 90% hit accuracy. But where exactly did Iran get these anti-ship missiles, and how do they actually work? The answer traces back to the Cold War. These are originally Soviet-era weapons. When launched, the first stage booster fires off for 2 to 3 seconds, after which the second stage takes off. It searches for a target using analog radar. When locked and ready, it can destroy a ship using a hollow-shaped charge warhead. This has the potential to either destroy or sink a cargo ship if it hits at the right angle. But they didn't stop there. They actually took the SA-2, which was originally designed as a surface-to-air missile, and completely re-engineered it into a deadly anti-ship weapon. The converted SA-2 missile can be launched from within 45 kilometers or 28 miles from the target.
This SA-2 guideline system is specifically configured to engage U.S. naval vessels. To effectively damage or disable a target, multiple missiles would typically be launched, supported by 2 land attack cruise missiles fired from the southern Red Sea over a span of nearly 10 hours, beginning at around 6:30 in the morning on December 26th. These kinds of coordinated strikes are not just about physical damage. They are designed to create psychological pressure and disrupt major global trade routes. In this case, however, the U.S. destroyer's defense systems activated in time and successfully intercepted the incoming threats. Now, for larger naval assets like aircraft carriers or Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, the attack sequence would look something like this. The first phase begins with the launch of multiple drones intended to saturate and overwhelm the ship's defensive systems. In the second phase, older Soviet-era anti-ship missiles such as the P-15 or P-21 are deployed. These travel at speeds approaching Mach 0.95 and can deliver significant impact upon contact. The third phase escalates further, involving modified surface-to-air missiles repurposed as anti-ship weapons. These travel at speeds of approximately Mach 3.5, posing a serious threat capable of inflicting heavy damage on naval targets. If you enjoy deep military breakdowns and detailed strategic analysis like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video.